Hello, everyone. Let's talk about Halloween, which I'm pretty sure there's a lot of videos about it, but unfortunately, many people aren't watching the videos on it and exposing the dark truth about Halloween. So I just wanted to have a video that is simply going into the history a little bit more, just a quick video. I do have another video that's in detail that I could link down below if you want to know more about Halloween. But just the gist, many people celebrate Halloween without understanding the history of it and of the origins of it. They put on costumes, they attend parties, they eat candy, and they pull pranks on their neighbors. If you grew up during October 30th, during those times, I don't know if they still do it now in 2023, but Mischief Night. So that's basically the night where you would prank your neighbors, which really isn't a prank because the things that kids would be doing was just straight demonic. Go around egging cars and just vandalizing people's things. It's just straight demonic, honestly. But I will say that Americans spend billions of dollars decorating and prepping for Halloween, which I've heard on social media where people were paying like $200 for their kids' costumes and stupid stuff like that. And I'm just like, why are you even doing that in the first place? Like, you're spending a bill on costumes, which makes no sense to me. But there's more to Halloween than just jack-o'-lanterns, scary stories, and things like that. We're gonna go back to, back in the days where we had All Saints Day and Samhain. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but All Saints Day was celebrated by many Christians around the world, and it was just basically to honor God's people that passed away, like whether they were like prophets or or they weren't called pastors at the time, but they were just people that followed God. And on that day, people would take time to remember those Christians and spread the gospel and just remember people that died for their faith, which I think is honestly not a bad thing to celebrate, right? But about 730 years ago, after Christ, the head of the Catholic Church, of course, why are we surprised with the Catholic Church, right? Pope Gregory III moved All Saints Day from May to November 1st. And the question is, why did he do that? Well, he wanted people to forget about the Celtic festival, which was Samhain, pronounced Samhain, as well as other similar festivals, which, okay. So basically you're taking it from May, you're moving it to November 1st. November 1st is near Halloween, right? So just keep that in mind. The Celts were people that lived mostly in, now it's called Ireland and Britain and northern France, a long time ago, even before Christ. To remember those who died and appease evil spirits, they sacrificed animals during this Samhain time. So just bear with me with this. So we take All Saints Day, move it from May to November 1st, near Halloween, where they're sacrificing animals during the Samhain celebration and trying to please evil spirits. So clearly this was divination. We are not supposed to be sacrificing anything. According to the Old Testament, if God tells you to sacrifice something for him, that's obviously not divination. But if you're sacrificing animals to please evil spirits, now that's divination. So as you can see the difference there. We know that from the Bible, God sent his son, Jesus Christ, to be the ultimate sacrifice for our sins. So there wasn't any need to be sacrificing anything at this point because all of this happened after Christ. So now this is why this is witchcraft and divination, because we didn't need to do any of that stuff. So for them to even celebrate that during the Samhain time is just straight evil. So this clearly goes against God's intentions of sacrifice. So moving the holiday, however, did not make people forget about Samhain, although it did slow the spread of it. But instead, many non-Christian practices such as dressing up like demons became part of All Saints Day activities. So that's how it became merged together. And this is why I get a lot of comments like, you did know that Halloween started from Christians, right? Technically, no, it did not. It wasn't a Christian holiday. So people are very mistaken in thinking that we started it. If we worship Jesus Christ, we're not going to start a holiday to worship Satan. Like, it's just, that makes no sense. clearly you have some wicked people doing some wicked things that's trying to merge the two together. And that's exactly what happened. So even All Saints Day, many people around the world celebrated a Day of the Dead. Like the Celts, many of their cultures honor the dead with rituals and festivals, and these celebrations go back a long time. These many similarities from one culture to another tells us likely an ancient connection between these two various days of the dead. Now, should Christians celebrate Halloween? The answer is no. I mean, I don't know why I had to make this video, but there's been so much debate on like my reels and stuff that I've been making speaking against Halloween. There's a lot of Christians who claim that they serve Jesus Christ trying to defend it and saying it's a day of fun. It's not fun when demons are knocking at your door. I'm just saying. But anyway, some of the decorations and costumes glamorize death. I wouldn't even say some, most. Then you get Christians to say, well, dress up like people from the Bible. But see, the thing is like this holiday is dedicated to Satan. So even just participating in it, there's just no point. Now, I'm not saying that you gotta stay locked up in the house and stay in the corner with a flashlight looking for demons lurking your way. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying don't do what the rest of the world does and go out and go trick-or-treating. Like, you don't need to say trick-or-treat. Like, why do you need to go out doing that? You know, that is just... things like that just is questionable when Christians try to justify things like that. But it's really demonic. There's a lot of occult rituals that take place during this time. It's a high time for kidnappings, murders, and child sacrifice. So just knowing that alone, I'm not sure why people would want to participate in it. But all in all, we worship, as Christians, true believers of Jesus Christ, we worship God, who is the author of life and nothing else. Even things that seem innocent like Halloween pranks are not, because it goes against the fruit of the Spirit. If we look at Galatians 5:19 through 23, where Christ commands us to love our neighbors. So you shouldn't go around egging your neighbor's stuff, their hard-earned stuff. When I was growing up, people were destroying cars, throwing toilet papers on people's yards, and like egging their houses. Do you know that that will take the paint off a car when it dries up? Like, that's not even funny. Now, it never happened to our home, thank God, but it did happen around us. And I think a lot of the kids in my neighborhood that did it, they did it to people who they didn't like. But that's besides the point. That's not being loving and caring and really expressing that love to your neighbor. So I just want to ask this question. What about Halloween spreads love? What about Halloween spreads the love of God and give God glory? I'm going to leave you with that question. Comment down below, and also make sure that you subscribe and follow for more content. God bless.